We've also added kiosks in our offices. Contact us at 313-224-5990 or email us at textinfo@waynecounty.com.
910 AM Superstation is in a league of its own. We are the only talk radio station in the Metro Detroit area sensitive to the African American community.
Make sure you join us on what station?
910 AM the Superstation.
910 AM.
910 AM. On 910 AM Superstation.
910 AM Superstation, Metro Detroit's only African American based talk radio station. 910 AM Superstation, giving you exactly what you need by any means necessary. Thank you for calling 910 AM Superstation. What's your question or comment?
And what a lot of people don't know about Colin Kaepernick is he had rented a plane, donated $50,000 to, it was at Libya. In the off-season, he bought boxes of, suits to hand out to parolees, if you will, in Queens, New York. He took a knee. When I first saw it, I thought, I'm not sure if this is the place, the venue to do it. And then I took a step back and did some research, did my due diligence, and I said, well, when do you? And I hate to say the word protest. I don't, for lack of a better word, because it has such a negative connotation. But where do you protest? It's not at a venue. It's not in the streets, in front of the Capitol or the White House. Where do you protest? In the privacy of your own home? That doesn't get your message out.
We are 910 AM Superstation, the voice of Detroit. Don't miss the best day party in town every Saturday at 4 p.m. on 910 AM Superstation with Chuck Bennett.
If I meet 2 people at each party, that's 10 people every week that I meet. At the end of the year, that's 520 people at parties.
Right.
That's a lot of names to remember.
That is.
But now, so then I get somebody who comes up to me and says, "Hi, Chuck, do you remember me?" All right, you do the math.
Saturdays at 4 p.m. only on 910 AM Superstation. There's always something new to talk about, and 910 AM Superstation wants to have you covered from every angle. So we're adding some familiar voices and strong opinions to the best talk radio station in town.
Hi, I'm Rochelle Riley, and I'm so glad to be joining the family at 910 AM Superstation. We're going to be talking about it all Monday through Friday, 6 to 7 p.m. Don't miss it.
910 AM Superstation, the voice of Detroit. 910 AM Superstation is the voice of the people. Don't believe me? Just listen.
I absolutely love this radio station. This station gets me through the work week.
And we don't just show love to the callers. We see the comments and the posts, too.
I'm always on the go, so being able to watch all my favorite hosts on 910 AM mobile app is amazing.
So when you think of 910 AM Superstation, we want you to tune in, call in, and don't forget to find us on social media. 910 AM Superstation gives you the flip side, the real side. This is our side.
Listen live now.
The number one station, period.
And on that note, let's get back to the program.
You're listening to 910 AM Superstation, Detroit's only urban talk radio station.
It's the Wayne Bradley Show. Conservative Political Radio. Giving you what you need to know. Listen up. It's the Wayne Bradley Show. It's the Wayne Bradley Show. Conservative Political Radio. Giving you what you need to know. Listen up. It's the Wayne Bradley Show. That's what it is. It's the Wayne Bradley Show. That's what it is. Listen up. It's the Wayne Bradley Show. It's the Wayne Bradley Show. Yeah.
これからみんなでめちゃくちゃ踊って騒ごう騒ごう。
Headbanger. Hit me. Hit me. Hit me. Give me some new. Give me some new. Give me some new. Mississippi putting it down. I'm the hottest round. I told y'all, y'all can't stop me now. Listen to me now.
to the Wayne Bradley Show. Big surprise, I'm on now, prime time, 7 to 9 p.m. Oh, folks, I don't know how they let me in the building, but now I'm here. And this is the Get Your Freak On edition. Matt Lauer. Let's talk about it. Matt Lauer, John Conyers. Oh, my goodness. It's just the list goes on. Where do we go from here? Who's next? That's what I want to know. Who is next in the building to get accused? I mean, that's... Oh. Oh, that's just wrong. We got to stop. I'm going to stop. Let me stop teasing these guys. It's terrible. We've got a lot to talk about today, folks. It seems like every time I take a day off, I mean, it's almost like it should be bad luck for liberals whenever I take a day off of the air, because the day I come back, there is another liberal man right now being accused of just terrible things. I mean, let's just talk about this here. We've got Matt Lauer, who's one of these guys that, of course, was criticizing Donald Trump. And if I can find some of the footage or the clip of Matt Lauer talking bad about Donald Trump and why he shouldn't be president because of some things he said, not because of what he did, because of some of the things he said, that is where you're going to see the hypocrisy and what frustrates conservatives so much, folks. So I just wanted to let you know I am on the air now, 7 to 9 p.m., prime time. I want to thank Kevin Adele for giving me this opportunity. 9-10 a.m. We're going to have some fun tonight. Give us a call, 313-209-9000. What do you think about the hypocrisy here? Now, we can start with Matt Lauer, who was fired. I mean, so there's nothing really to discuss with Matt Lauer. He was fired for behavior just that was, unbecoming is the best way to put it. He was doing some really wild stuff at work. I mean, he took it back to some 1980s type of wild behavior up in NBC. And I'm just surprised that he lasted this long. It just shows you the power of some of these guys, that they could even last this long with what's going on here. Now, you also have in the Democrat Party right now, you have Nancy Pelosi and some of the progressives out there trying to force John Conyers to resign. Now, I can't believe this. Well, I shouldn't say I can't believe this. John Conyers actually settled these suits and settlements a while ago, and now he always denied that he did anything. But because he didn't want a long, prolonged trial and different things, he settled out, paid a very, what I would consider, small settlement for the employee. And now Nancy Pelosi and other Dems are calling on John Conyers to resign. Now, this is, the irony here is that when you started raising the bar of scrutiny, when you started going after first Donald Trump with a bunch of stuff that was unsubstantiated, when you went after Donald Trump, and then you started going after, the stories, of course, with Roy Moore broke out, which, again, none of these things what we're talking about are acceptable behavior, but you didn't have proof. But now you've got proof. These guys are actually telling on themselves, folks. That's what's blowing my mind. They're telling on themselves. They started out investigating Republicans, and all I'm seeing is a bunch of Democrats. Of course, Anthony Weiner just went to jail for his, Carlos Danger. Carlos Danger. That's who he was, and he, I just don't know what to say, folks. It's unbelievable. What do you think? Do you think that John Conyers should have to step down? I don't think. I think that this should be his last time running. I don't know if he should step down, but I definitely don't think he should run again. But there's the political consideration for the Conyers legacy if he stays and people continue to demote him and he loses his committees. He's already stepped down. He's already stepped down from the Judicial Committee because he didn't want to be a part of that as they investigate him, which is quite weird. I guess got to say it's got to be a different vibe to have to step down off a committee because they're actually investigating you. And so he didn't want to give any impropriety. But this is what the swamp is really all about. These guys have been creating funds that were being, taxpayer money, folks. I want you to understand this. This is not some private money that was given away. This is taxpayer money taxpayer money set aside to pay off lawsuits for guys for sexual harassment. Anonymously, too. This is protecting a bunch of people. And I just think that practice needs to end. There ought to be transparency in who's doing what. Maybe that would, one, stop these people from behaving this way, knowing that they'll be covered and it'll be anonymous. What is the mechanism that would make someone not want to, if they behave like this, what is the mechanism to not make them behave like this if you're going to tell them that we'll settle the lawsuits, settle the settlements, and everything remains anonymous? The victim, she takes a sum of money, so she doesn't say anything, and the congressperson's not even revealed. Or it's revealed quietly later on down the road. How come no one heard about this before? Those are the questions I would have to ask, folks. You let me know. 313-209-9000. Have the Democrats opened up a can that they probably wish that they'd never opened up? I think so. All I'm seeing now is a bunch of, like I said, you got John Conyers, you got Matt Lauer, you got Weiner going to jail. Anthony Weiner has gone to jail for this. But yet, they continue on attacking Donald Trump. They made these accusations against Roy Moore that now are looking like they don't have any proof on that, which is, again, a lot of Republicans stepped away from Roy Moore because they didn't want to do that. But look at these phones. They're blowing up, folks. 313-209-9000. What do you do? Do you defend John Conyers here? Should he step down? I don't know. Should he just – I do know that this should be the last time he's running for office. Retire with some dignity if they don't force you out. What do you think? Give us a call, 313-209-9000. All right, we've got those phone lines lit up already. We're going to start with Victor. We're going to go to Victor. Victor, welcome to the Wayne Bradley Show.
Hey there, how you doing tonight?
All right, how you doing?
I'm doing good. I usually be checking you out in the morning time for the last few weeks or a month or two, but now it's at nighttime.
Yes, sir. I'm very happy to be here a little bit later in the evening and to get folks. You can finish off your evening talking with Wayne Bradley instead of starting off the morning. How about that?
For sure. Well, man, what I got to say about what you're talking about right now is like, I think I heard on the news report this evening that Conyers has stated that he will not be seeking a re-election and he will not be stepping down. He's going to try to retire with some dignity.
That's what he should do. That's exactly what he should. So he's made a statement to that he's not going to. I didn't think he was going to resign, but that's good that he's at least saying he's not going to run anymore. Maybe that'll back up all these Democrats. And it's interesting to see these Democrats attack their own like that. An 89-year-old black man, a civil rights icon. It's just amazing to me how quickly they've turned on John Conyers, Nancy Pelosi, and the rest of the liberals. But they didn't do that to Al Franken. Do you know why do you think that they're willing to put up with Al Franken, a comedian of all things, but willing to kick John Conyers, the civil rights pioneer, out of the Democrat Party and out of his seat? How does that happen?
That just, to me, only exposes
the Democrat Party
hypocrisy on the Democratic side.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's awful what's going on, period, in Washington and with the sexual harassment garbage. I just think so much is going on at the same time right now, and everybody has got their spin on this and that and other, but it only exposes the hypocrisy of the Democratic side of what's going on in Washington. And I tend to agree with you a lot on what you be speaking on, exposing, like, just because you're a Republican, that don't mean that you hate black people and this, that, and the other, because you be having a lot of interesting ideas and thoughts on a lot of the issues that's facing things that's going on in the United States. But what I really wanted to call about was, like, you were talking about John Conyers and stuff.
Right.
I'm saying this. I don't care how old he is. If he is as nasty as Monica Conyers is, I already know he's guilty. First point I want to make. The second point I want to make is if he is found guilty of anything, if they go through with litigation on what these other two ladies are supposed to be corroborating the other one's story, if he is found guilty, I don't care how old he is and I don't care what color he is, he needs to be kicked out of office. And that's what I wanted to say.
Okay. Well, listen, I'm sorry. I was talking with the engineer. Listen, I think that you're right. I think it exposes the way that these guys have treated, they expect blacks to vote for Democrats and they don't care. They figure they can replace Conyers with another one. And that's the problem. That's the real problem here.
I want to know why these ladies would just conjure up some allegations that would not be half truth to full truth what really happened.
And the thing I find amazing is that we're just finding out about some of this stuff now. A lot of this stuff happened, years ago. And
he had clout back then like he has clout now, and he was able to get that mess brushed under the rug without it even getting to the light of the daylight of public opinion.
You're right.
That's scandalous right there.
Well, Victor, I tell you what, if he doesn't run again, I think that's obviously the smartest thing to do. We'll see if he's able to stick out the rest of his term. He's got about slightly less than a year left. We'll be watching.
Hey, let me ask you this one thing about Trump and his last little day or two or three with him retweeting these clips or whatever of some anti-Muslim things and things of that nature. You know, are you still saying that, no matter what Trump says or does, he gets a pass on his behavior too? Because, man, Trump, man, I ain't trying to.
I think the thing he was the retweets were pointing to the issue of security and some of the issues that they're facing over in these different countries and how he wants it to be secure here in America. I personally like to, stick with strictly the fact-based stuff, but it's important to bring an issue to the security of our country, and that's just his way of doing it, and he uses Twitter as his platform to do so. Victor,
I agree with that point, but you don't believe for 1 second that Donald Trump like stirs religious hatred among people. You don't think Donald Trump uses division and all of the negative things that's going on with his behavior since before he even decided to run for the president? You don't think he's divisive? You don't think he's racist?
I think that he reflects a certain amount of folks in this country that are very concerned about the security of their country. Maybe some are ignorant to what they don't know about, but at the end of the day, I don't believe that Donald Trump is racist. No, I don't. I got to go to the next call, Victor. We got a ton of calls here, and I do appreciate you calling in. We're going to go to Lee. Lee is on the line. Lee, thanks for calling in.
Thank you for having me on.
I appreciate it. Thanks.
Thanks for having me on.
No problem.
I wanted to talk about with all of the allegations, we're leaving out a couple of things. Number one, not everybody that is accused of something is guilty.
Okay.
This country has a long history of accusing black men of sexual impropriety to get them lynched and hung.
Yep. Hey, I'm not disagreeing with you on that. You're right.
Right? So looking at the historic lens and the pattern of behavior, if the people who are fired and are let go have admitted that they've done those things.
Okay.
Right? So if a person comes out and accuses you, you have a right, if you deny it, that it's not true, to have your day in court. And the last time I checked, you were innocent until proven guilty. And John Conyers said he hadn't done it. Even Roy Moore said that yes, I dated underage women, but I did it with their parents' consent. So he has a pattern of behavior that would lead you to believe that Roy Moore is more likely to be a pedophile and sleep with underage girls than John Conyers is to put his hands on a woman unasked for. And the woman who accused him walked into his private office.
All right, Lee, I think
wait, hold on, let me finish.
One thing. Okay, go ahead.
She walked into his private office. She walked into his private office when he was undressed, unannounced. That's not sexual harassment. That's you being rude by coming to my private office when I can be changing clothes in my private office and you should knock on a door before you walk into a room, knowing that somebody's in there.
All right, Lee, to be fair, there were more than one allegation. There was people that said he came to meetings dressed inappropriately. And, again, he settled out. I think the difference between the allegations you are making against guys like Roy Moore, the guys like Donald Trump, is that they didn't settle out with these settlements.
Pussy grabber.
Hey, now, you can't say that on the radio. You know better, Lee. Come on now.
Anatomical parts of women's bodies that he admitted to groping.
He didn't admit to anything. It was locker room banter, and it wasn't appropriate, but it was locker room banter. Again, we're talking about...
Why did he apologize?
Because it wasn't appropriate. He has daughters. He has a wife. He probably felt it was inappropriate, and he apologized. He should have apologized. What we're talking about here is the difference is that John Conyers settled out with taxpayer money, Lee. Okay? He didn't. So there's no regard. He's the steward of our money.
Why is there a $17 million fund set up for Congress to settle?
I say tear it all down. You're not going to get me to defend any of it. There shouldn't be any taxpayer money. Shouldn't be any slush fund to handle sexual harassment lawsuits. It shouldn't be.
Just to solely focus on John Conyers.
John Conyers is the man of the. He's the man of the hour right now, Lee. Can't deny that.
You're making it the man of the hour.
Who made him the man of the hour? Democrats made him the man of the hour. Matt Lauer is the man of the hour. What are you talking about? They're all the men of the hour. They're doing.
And tomorrow there will be somebody new because the woman who brought this up.
It's an attack. It seems to be an attack on powerful men right now, Lee. That's what it seems to be.
Yeah, he is a powerful man. That's why they're trying to take him down.
There you go.
Trump gets impeached.
So do you blame this? Tell me this, Lee. Do you blame this on feminism? Is feminism part of the problem here? Are they trying to destroy men like John Conyers and Matt Lauer? Is this feminism? Is this the feminism and an attack on men?
I think this is politics at its lowest.
Oh.
And I think that accusing a black man is just
Whoa. Why is it just a black man here? What about Matt Lauer? What about Matt Lauer? It's not just black men here. Come on.
I'm saying that making John Conyers above everybody else in Congress that have put their hands on women, that have been accused, and that have stepped down, and that have admitted it. I think John Conyers should, this is honest, I think John Conyers should have his day in court. He should go through trial. If he denies it and says that he didn't do it, he should not have to resign or step down for anything until it's had his day in court. Because other people have been accused, like I think there was a guy in Florida that got accused, and he went to court, and his trial was just acquitted a couple of weeks ago.
Hey, listen, if he wants to go to court, my thing is if he wanted to go to court, he should have did that in the first place, Lee, and not settled.
And many people who are innocent settle out of court.
Many of them do, but many of them don't because they just don't want their name going through court. It's a matter of spending the amount of money that it would take just to settle. That's what we're talking about here, Lee. But thanks for calling in. I do appreciate you calling in today, my friend. All right, we're going to go to Tim. Tim is next.
Hi, Wayne.
Hey, how you doing, Tim?
Yeah. Good. Yeah, I was kind of siding with Lee there because I feel that in this country, we should be. I mean, what's happening now is everybody, as soon as somebody accuses you of something, you're guilty, and it's destroying people. Now, I don't know how many of these,
there's certain things that I might be willing to say, you know what, it's not worth it to go through court and to pay out or whatever, right? Maybe a car accident, maybe something like that, but when you start talking about my name, my reputation, we're talking about sexual harassment, anything of that nature, I think I would fight it to keep my name clean. That's my personal opinion, Tim. If I didn't do anything.
Right. But I think there's like this witch hunt thing going on. The mob, like all of a sudden somebody.
The pink hats, man. The pink hats. This is the pink hat movement. This is what's happened now,
I know. I think that, we have to get back to where, instead of just deeming somebody guilty, we need to, go through the process and instead of destroying reputations. Who knows? Some of these people may do this for money, may do it for glory. Who knows,
Maybe they do it. Maybe they do it to destroy politicians, Maybe it's a quick buck. Like you said, who knows? But I will say this, now it's a little late to say John Conyers should have his day in court when he had opportunity to do so and he chose to settle out. That's that's kind of where I would at this point.
And maybe so, but maybe he said, I don't want to take my name all over the place, destroy my career. Maybe this woman person was putting pressure on him and said, I'll just tell everybody and I don't know. I just think that sometimes, these things are getting carried away too much. We need to be better. People in this country need to be scrutinized better. In other words, go to court, get the evidence out there. If you're guilty, then we'll chastise you. But now we're chastising.
I mean, the love of money and lawyers getting involved when they feel like they can get a quick settlement. This is the kind of results you get. I think John Conyers should have thought twice about doing that. I really believe, at that point, he probably believed he was so powerful, like you said, at that time, maybe that this would never come back up or whatever. But to me, it was just a bad calculation. And if your reputation is on the line as a icon that he is, you got to make smarter. I just think you have to make smarter decisions than that. And, not put yourself in.
No, I agree.
And you know what? People laughed before, but I think more politicians in particular are going to pay attention to the Mike Pence rule. I bet you they'll do it moving forward, where he said he didn't go out with any females by himself. It was always more than one or two people in the room if they went out to dinner. That might be hard to handle in every, avenue of professional life. But I think more politicians are going to take heed to that, because why put yourself in this position where people are forcing you to, where you can lose your job, lose everything you've worked for making a bad judgment or being mistaken for making bad judgment. I think it's a slippery slope.
Well, and when you're in a business situation too, even me, I'm self-employed, and if I ever have to discipline someone, I'm never in a room by myself with that person, whether it be a guy or a girl.
Well,
I
Tim,
always have another person.
Tim, you definitely you saw it coming. In terms of that's a smart way to handle it, and I think again, more politicians and whatnot are definitely going to start thinking about how they move forward. So maybe that's a good thing. Maybe this is a learnable moment for all these members of Congress. So thanks again for calling in today, Tim. I appreciate it. All right, we're going to go to Stacy. Before we go to the break, we're going to go to Stacy. Stacy, thanks for calling in.
Thank you for taking my call. I was watching the news, and they had a professor on there that was explaining what sexual harassment was. And he says, for example, you look at somebody says, oh, you look really bad today. They come in the next day, oh, you look really good. And he eyed them from head to toe. They consider that sexual harassment. So you don't even know what's going on behind closed doors unless you have a witness there. And when you settle out of court, it's something that there's a niche or there's some kind of thing that backs that person up.
Right.
Well, not to change the whole entire subject, but Michael Jackson, he settled out of court.
I know. Again, if you accuse me of doing something with some little kids, I'm going to fight that to clear my name. I'm not paying somebody out for that. There's no way.
Right. So this had happened 30, 40 years ago, which the other aspect of the news that I was watching, that the woman that was on Trump's television show was just recently, and he apologized for what his actions were, and now he's denying he didn't ever do anything. So why would you come up there to apologize in front of everybody and then take back your apology and say you never did anything? And he didn't even say the locker room stuff. It was the statement that he made to apologize of being the locker room talk, and then he said, well, I didn't do anything.
Hey, like I said,
that was just recently on the news.
Yeah, I think, Stacey, like I said, again, the difference between the things that have been the allegations made against whether it was Donald Trump, and you've seen this happen. Even last week, it was Sylvester Stallone, and before that, again, it's just more and more stuff. And we're talking, 30 years ago, 40 years ago with some of this stuff.
See, and 30 years ago, we were the working housewives, and the men were out there. Now the women are out there and not going to put up with that, and we've been putting up with it for so long that now, like you said, there's a pink hat movement. We're not going to do it. So why are you dishing back all this stuff that happened 20, 30, 40 years ago instead of the last?
Well, I think that in particular I think with the politics, like for a guy like Roy Moore, who's been a Christian conservative, it puts a target on your back when you take on issues like the gay marriage and things of that nature. And I think that politically they came after him. But I really don't have a reason for Matt Lauer other than to say he was misbehaving at work, totally inappropriate.
Okay,
or Bill O'Reilly, if you want to.
Situation. the last situation was Clinton. Then it all died down, and it was, no talk of anything after Clinton and impeachment. He ran his same terms. Well, now, because of the fact that the locker room talk on the bus with Billy Bush, this is when it all stirred up again. And in my heart, I believe Donald Trump ran on a hate campaign.
All right.
Because everything that's happening is stirred up by his Twitters, let alone when he tweeted out those Muslims that were being tossed off of buildings, a kid being fought, and they were buddies in school.
Do you have a problem with it that he posted?
That we don't want.
Hey, Stacey, I tell you what, we're going to come. We got to go through a break here. We got to go to a break on the Wayne Bradley Show. I appreciate you. We're going to talk more about that on the break. You got people blaming Donald Trump for the stuff that Conyers is doing and Matt Lauer. I don't know. How do you blame that on Donald Trump? These are people's individual responsibilities. We'll be back on the Wayne Bradley Show on 9:10 a.m. your Superstation.
Call her up and she made me feel right. Wish the bliss could never take flight. Sitting back with this mic in my hand, spitting hot shit, trying to see grand. Imprinted on my mind every minute. Make my plans and you always in it, y'all.
And we have on the phone with us this morning Ron Fournier, publisher of Crane's Detroit Business. Ron, thank you for being with us this morning. The auto insurance claims, they have really soared over the last 3 or 4 years. Why the cost of auto insurance places like Detroit is going so high, becoming so outrageous?
They talk about my move from Washington where everything is more expensive.
Yes.
Except for auto insurance. My auto insurance tripled when I moved to Detroit.
Well, that's hard to believe.
And I look at the work Chad's been doing. Medical bills for insured Michigan motorists have tripled since 2000. Personal injury protection coverage now accounts for more money spent than fixing cars. So we're now spending more to fix people than fixing cars through insurance. What really gets me is that in Northeast Detroit, you could be paying more than $2,000 for the same coverage that you can get in Roseville, just a few miles away, for $755.
Same driver.
It only costs you $370.
Yeah, I mean, same driver, same vehicles.
910 AM Superstation, the voice of Detroit. 910 AM Superstation, the only urban talk radio station in town.
The most disrespected person in America is the black woman. The most unprotected person in America is the black woman. The most neglected person in America is the black woman. And as Muslims, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches us to respect our women and to protect our women. And the only time a Muslim really gets real violent when someone goes to molest his woman. He will kill you for our woman. I'm making it plain. Yes, we will kill you for our woman. We believe that if the white man will do whatever is necessary to see that his woman gets respect and protection, then you and I will never be recognized as men until we stand up like men and place the same penalty over the head of anyone who puts his filthy hands out to put in the direction of our women.
910 AM Superstation, the voice of Detroit. Don't miss the best day party in town every Saturday at 4 p.m. on 910 AM Superstation with Chuck Bennett.
If I meet 2 people at each party, that's 10 people every week that I meet. At the end of the year, that's 520 people at parties.
Right.
That's a lot of names to remember.
That is.
But now, so then I get somebody who comes up to me and says, "Hi, Chuck, do you remember me?" All right, you do the math.
Saturdays at 4 p.m. only on 910 AM Superstation. 910 AM Superstation is the voice of the people. Don't believe me? Just listen.
910 AM is constantly hot, from intense debate to the funniest commentary. 910 has it all.
We appreciate the love, and we can feel the support of the city. Keep it coming.
I love catching 910 AM news on social media. It's the way I love my news. Short, simple, and straight to the point.
So when you think of 910 AM Superstation, we want you to tune in, call in, and don't forget to find us on social media. 910 AM Superstation is the voice of the people. Don't believe me? Just listen.
I absolutely love this radio station. This station gets me through the work week.
And we don't just show love to the callers. We see the comments and the posts too.
I'm always on the go, so being able to watch all my favorite hosts on 910 AM mobile app is amazing.
So when you think of 910 AM Superstation, we want you to tune in, call in, and don't forget to find us on social media. If the conversation is hot and the lines are jammed, Give us a try at 313-778-7600 or 313-778-7601. That's 313-778-7600 or 313-778-7601.
910 Superstation is off the chisane.
910 AM Superstation is the voice of Detroit, and we want to hear what you have to say by any means necessary. There's always something new to talk about, and 910 AM Superstation wants to have you covered from every angle. So we're adding some familiar voices and strong opinions to the best talk radio station in town.
Wake up, Detroit, with the Wayne Bradley Show every morning from 5 to 7 a.m. Start your day off with the right perspective. The Wayne Bradley Show.
From 7 to 9 a.m., we'll have the editor for the Detroit News, Nolan Finley.
This is the most volatile time in the country in my professional career. And, that generates a lot of news, a lot of stuff to talk about.
Followed by the one and only David Alexander Bullock from 9 to 11 a.m.
The People Show, man, we bring it to you live and in full effect.
The always insightful and controversial Steve Niebling from 11 a.m. to noon.
And I do want to hear from you what you want to hear from me.
Bankalay Thompson from noon to 2 p.m.
This is the platform where we delve into the facts and informed opinion. We ask the tough questions.
The Cliff Russell Show from 2 to 4 p.m.
I don't care how much you know until I know how much you care.
Spud from 4 to 6 p.m.
Detroit's only African-American talk station, 24/7 Spud is here.
Rochelle Riley from 6 to 7 p.m.
I want to stress that this adventure is about life in Detroit and Michigan.
This Pastor Mo, a.k.a. the Street Preacher, a.k.a. the Street Sweeper.
You listen to the Lola George Show. It's your girl, Lola George.
910 AM Superstation, the voice of Detroit.
Counting out this money with my brothers. I've been counting all this money with my brothers. And I'ma get money, mother. Look at all the young flexing from the bottom.
Yo, welcome back to the Wayne Bradley Show here on 910 AM, the Superstation. Oh yeah, we're back on. No more 5 to 7 in the morning right now. We're prime time, baby. Thank you again, Kevin A. Dale, for giving me this opportunity. I hope you folks enjoy this. We're going to have a good time. So I'm looking on my Facebook post, and my good friend Arthur Savage said feminism is of the devil. He says it's destroying America. And it's even more fun, like he said, to watch all these liberal men are the ones taking all these casualties right now. It's pretty serious. Give us a call, 313-209-9000. Is this an attack on men? Is this bigger than what we want to believe it is? I don't know, folks. John Conyers is 90 years old. And, they making allegations against Roy Moore that was 40 years old. Where does it stop? Last week, Sylvester Stallone, he was accused of something. Nope, no evidence, just accusations. I don't know. It seems to be an attack on men right now. Just a little bit. All right, yeah, we're on live on Facebook Live too, so we got it all going on right now. All right, so we're gonna go to Yvonne. She's been waiting there for a minute. Yvonne, thank you for listening in.
Well, thank you for taking my call. I want to first talk about John Conyers.
Okay, let's talk about John Conyers.
He's an icon. I've met him several times. He's a very humble man.
Mm-hmm.
He's a very seems to be a very sweet, even-tempered person.
Did he make? So he didn't make any advances on you, right? That's what you're saying. He behaved like a gentleman.
Yeah, he behaved like a gentleman, and he was busy. I met him several times, but I remember meeting him and Jesse Jackson. We were all marching with here in Michigan when they wanted to stop the food stamp program for the women and children. So we were all out marching for that. Now, number two, I just regret, and I hate it. I think it's so mean-spirited that this woman would come in here and attack John Conyers at this late date. He's 90.
Oh, Yvonne, you're attacking the woman? I'm so shocked here. What are you talking about? Go ahead. I'm listening.
I'm a fair-minded person. I'm a fair-minded person. Why can John Conyers, the longest-serving black person in the Senate, why couldn't he been carried out like the the senator from Michigan, was it Kildee, and Storm Thurmond or something. They all were able to stay in Congress till they was almost dead. So why couldn't
you don't want to make those kind of jokes, but he's 90 years old, okay? So he's...
No, I mean, what I'm saying, why couldn't he just went out on his own?
Well, he still can. He still can. Let's be fair, Yvonne. He still can.
Controversy. It's so unfair. The man has given and done so much. It's just so unfair. And then number two...
I am just shocked, though. I'm just shocked, Yvonne. I just got to tell you this before you go. I am shocked that it sounds like your sister, a woman, is calling in and criticizing the other woman for bringing up these allegations against John Conyers. I'm shocked. I am shocked.
I mean, can I finish saying this?
Go ahead.
I'm very hurt that women are being allowed to go back 40 years, 30 years on somebody.
Say it.
A man at 25 is different from a man at 55, is different from a man at 75. I think it's so unfair. I don't have a friend who has been sexually harassed on the job. I was terribly sexually harassed on my job.
Wow.
But it never dawned on me now.
Let's go back. Let's do something 30 years later and make an issue out of it to try to embarrass somebody.
I thought the only thing that didn't have a statute of limitations was murder and rape. I didn't know that you can go back 40 years
and assassinate someone's character. That's what they're trying to do at this point.
Assassinate their character and destroy somebody just because you are pointing your finger. And what makes me angry about that, too, I'm an African-American woman. I agree with one call that you had. It was a time when all a white woman had to do is say somebody looked at her wrong, and now you castrated, hung, and dead, okay? Or you in prison for life where you're getting raped repeatedly. See, I don't like that. And number three,
I appreciate your perspective, Yvonne. It's actually
can I say something else?
Go ahead.
We just got into the professional workforce, I think in the early 70s. And now what you're doing is you're going to make men reluctant to hire women now going forward because...
So they're actually setting feminism back right now and women getting more empowered.
I think so. I agree. Wait, right now, if you
Lord...
If I work with you and just say you liked me,
I can't like nobody in the office no more. No compliments, no nothing.
Nothing. That's what I'm saying. So how do they engage with women now? I mean, because I heard one woman, I didn't like him. Well, because you didn't like him and he flirted with you, now he got to be slandered?
Hey, look, my great teacher, Howard Fancher from Mumford High School, once taught me, never get the honey where you get your money. That's what he told me. Just a simple phrase that's I've kept through life. And Mr. Fancher, the doctor's style, if you're watching, I thank you and I appreciate the lessons you've taught me, sir, because that's obviously either you're going to go with Mr. Fancher's rules or you're going to go with the Mike Pence rule, but one way or other, you got to think with the head on your shoulders, fellas. Think with the head on your shoulders. All right.
I gotta say one more thing because I can't say this on the liberal show. But I'm gonna say
you don't have to worry anymore. Conservatives be free. Call in 313-209-9000. Go ahead, Yvonne.
I did not vote for Donald Trump.
Okay.
I'm gonna say that right off the rip.
All right.
But once he became president, everybody should have been to his. I wrote my congressman, including John Conyers. I emailed him. You need to go to the inauguration.
Right.
That's protocol for the people in the Congress.
Respect of the seat. Respect of the seat.
Respect of the office.
That's right.
Respect the office. If you hate the man, respect the office because somebody in America voted for him. Somebody thought
they sure did. They sure did.
I didn't. But you have to respect the office and let things work themselves out. Like on my job, when I worked at General Motors, I couldn't say, I don't like Mr. So-and-so, so I ain't going to the meeting. Yes, I am. I'm going to the meeting, shut my mouth, get whatever I can get, and go back to my desk. Now, the black Congress people, right now, if you're listening, stop fighting with Donald Trump. Go back to your constituents. Like here in Detroit, we need jobs.
Oh, Yvonne, you have made my day. You have made my day today.
Go up there and ask this man, ask this president of the United States of America, who is also a businessman, what can you do to help us to get some jobs in Detroit?
Amen. Stop protesting. Stop protesting and go get some work done on behalf of your constituents.
on the behalf of your constituents. And those people, the ones you say, what lower intelligence or whatever you want to call them, that voted for Donald Trump, they still need something too. You need to address their needs too.
Hey, listen.
I just don't get this.
Yvonne, you made my day on this. Thank you so much. I was gonna say thank you. I was gonna say something. Can't say sweetheart anymore. You can't say anything. Don't you dare do it. If I said that could have been. I'm watching myself out here. This is the new era. Don't say anything nice. Thank you. That's it. No saying you look nice. Anything like that. You might as well just stay away from it. Instagram is about as far as you're ever going to go now on showing some love and giving out some likes. That's the safest place, folks. All right, let's go to Ola. Let's go to Ola, who's on the line. Ola, you've been waiting. Thank you for calling in on the Wayne Bradley Show.
Wait. My man made it to prime time, baby. What's up, dog? You all
prime
right?
time. You know it. What's happening?
My man, the only Republican I ever had love for. Hey, but, bro, I got to give it to my man. I got to give it to John Conyers, bro. He is an icon.
Yeah.
That old man ain't did nothing on no women, man. His lawyer been on every news channel, every radio station. He's done the apology tour for this, man. He's broke everything down, man. That woman wasn't nothing but a money-hungry, blood-sucking woman, dog. That's all it was, man.
Ooh, this is a rough crowd tonight. I expect some men to take that approach, but I've heard women calling in already saying they don't believe her. She's oh man, this is a rough crowd. I think one in Detroit, you're gonna have a hard time trying to go against John Conyers like that. I really do. I think that's a tough situation.
I can't go against my man, man. He's a good brother. He's a good dude, man. He's an icon, man. He's a role model for us here in Detroit, bro. I just don't believe that. Besides, man, quiet ass is kept, man. Yeah, I ain't gonna say nothing, but he might know a little something.
Yeah, hey man, I can feel the way you're teetering on that. I won't touch that, but I will say that it's a very interesting allegation to make against John Conyers, contrary to some of the other things that have been tossed around out there. So we'll leave it at that, Olaf. That's where we're gonna leave that.
I'm not gonna put him out there like that.
Yeah,
but we all know in Detroit it's kind of an urban legend.
Oh, man, yeah. I don't want to touch that. I want to get out the studio tonight. I want to make it home safely.
You don't go there, I won't go there. But real talk, though, bro, I just don't see that. I think we have bigger fish to fry. So you got Al.
Well, I think at the end of the day.
Down there more in Alabama, they giving him a shot. You know what I'm saying? Let John Conyers live. You know what I'm saying? Let the man.
I think John Conyers should make the decision to say that he's retiring and that he is going to not run again. That would be the best way to go. And maybe the Democrats, Nancy Pelosi and the like, will leave him alone. Because I find it very interesting that Nancy Pelosi is attacking the Honorable John Conyers.
Wayne, you didn't say that. Please don't tell me you said that. Let me tell you something about. I tell you about these fake Democrats.
Go ahead, man. Break it down for me.
I already told you that she's weak. She's weak. She's a coward, and she's a traitor. And she backtracked Sunday when Todd, you know what I'm talking about, my man, he grilled her. I mean, he went at her hard. She came ill-prepared, and he grilled her. She didn't know what to say. She act like she tried to back John up on Sunday. Then by Monday, what did that coward Nancy Pelosi do? She flipped the script, didn't she?
Well, she did something that was most politically convenient for her. And again, the question I really have about that, Olaf, is why is it that Franken is allowed to stay? There's no pressure on him to resign, but you're putting all the pressure on John Conyers. I don't get that one.
Exactly. I'm with you on that. That's that fake Democrat, Nancy Pelosi. She's weak. She's a coward. She's a traitor. And I bet she's probably on the sidelines, probably talking to John. Maybe you really might need to step down.
Oh, she's pushing them right out the doggone party. That's what they're doing right now. It's amazing to watch them call him an icon in one hand and then trying to push him out with the other. It's just amazing. And again, Olaf, I got to ask you this question too. Do you think this is an attack, an all-out attack, an assault on men? Is this the feminist movement coming back to bite these same liberal men in the behind?
Well, you know what I think it is? Yeah, I think it's that, but I also think it's the Trump effect. I think that all these liberals that's been coming down on Trump, even though we all know Trump is a sexist, he's a racist, you know, he likes to do this and do that. I'm not going to go down your man today. But I think this is a backlash from the assault on Trump. And now it's time for the liberal men's turn. You know what I'm saying? I think that's all this because, you know, you're going to come down on Trump, you liberal men, hey, if you're doing dirt, it's coming back to haunt you too now.
Yeah, I think that this is. I think it's interesting to watch this. It's going to be interesting how this all pans out. But now again, it's open season, even on liberal white men right now. It's open season. So, hey,
yeah, it is. But let's keep it real, though, Wayne. I know that's your man. I got to say one thing, man. But we all know your man, he's the biggest freak in the country, all right? Your man Trump in the White House, right?
I don't know nothing about that, man.
He's
a happily married man. You know what I mean? What are you talking about, man?
Well, yeah, I know. He won the presidency under all these allegations and everything, you know.
Fake news. That was fake news. You know, that was a bunch of fake news. Nothing burgers.
Fake news. Yep, the fake news, him putting his finger up women and
I don't know nothing about that.
That was fake news.
Oh, you talking about that? You talking about that banner room? You talking about that locker room banner? That's not the same as actually having to settle out of court and pay someone to be quiet so you don't. You know, he's talking about locker room banner.
That was locker room.
Just guys, you know how many? Come on, Olaf. How many guys do you know that like to exaggerate the truth when they're bragging about women? Come on. I mean, that's nothing. That's not exclusive to Donald Trump. We all have a friend that we even look at. I'm like, come on, dog. That really didn't happen. You're lying. So I mean, come on. That's what we're talking about here.
That's just well, you're right. That's just men talk. This locker room talk. Even for the guy who's the president of the United States.
He wasn't president at that time. That was 10 years ago or whatever it was. He wasn't president at that time. That's not how a president would talk. Agree. But he never planned on being president. He was always just a private citizen.
No, you're right. That was cool. He was 60 years old, telling an 8-year-old girl at a pageantry that when you grow up, I want to take you out on a date. That's cool for a 60-year-old.
Come on, man. He's just joking. I mean, this is his bad taste of jokes, but come on, it's just joke. He's not serious. I mean, come on.
I give your man Trump. You know what? I give him a pass because I know he's a knucklehead, brother. It's all good, brother.
Yeah, man. I mean, you got to give him a pass on this stuff. You know, anything he said on Howard Stern or anything like that should not be held against him in running for president. He was joking. He was it's like being on a show and you're forced to do wild things. You know, that's how it is. That's how I look at it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Even though he had his own daughter sitting on his lap, he had his hand on her breast.
I don't know nothing about that, man. You are getting older. My goodness. No, I don't know nothing about that one.
If she wasn't my daughter, I'd take her out on a date, too.
Well, he was only saying specifically the fact that he liked younger women at the time. He was joking. But, that's Donald Trump again.
Oh,
you guys got to stop taking him so literally. Literally. He's not.
That's your pivot. That's your spin, sir. I'm cool with that. Hey, I'm glad for your new time slot, brother. I can really listen to you now. Though,
I appreciate it, man. I can really talk some junk now. It's later in the day, man. I can have a good time. Thank you, Ola, for calling in, brother. All right, we're gonna go to Bay Ree. Bay Ree, thank you for calling in.
Yes, sir. This is me, Wayne.
How you doing?
What's up? I'm fine. Okay, Wayne, can we have a little small dialogue, you and I?
What's that?
For a moment, You think he did that?
Who are we talking about? Matt Lauer, John Conyers? Who are we talking about?
Mr. Conyers. You think he did that?
I have a hard time believing all these different allegations, but I will say this, that men in power have done they sometimes have been used to being in power so long that they don't think like us normal folks do in terms of some of the decisions they make or even some of the things they might say to people. Okay. And so with that being said, do I think he was out here really pressing women to make them feel uncomfortable? I mean, how uncomfortable can he make them feel at 85 to 90 years old? He can't, he's not chasing nothing down. Maybe he said something that was inappropriate. I don't know. I thought it was pretty unbelievable to read all these liberal, newspaper writers today talking about they wouldn't get on the elevator with him at this point. I'm like, dude, he's 85, 86, almost 90 years old, whatever it is. He's old. And
okay.
I have a hard. Like I've said before, is I think that he should have resigned. I mean, he shouldn't have ran anyway, probably 2 or 3 terms ago at this point. But I think if he wants to resign, if he wants to end out this and retire in dignity, he's served long enough that that's his prerogative. Just like how Roy Moore has the right to run in Alabama, John Conyers has the right to stick around here in Detroit if the people of Detroit want him to, and if you don't hear the people of Detroit calling in to ask him to quit. And I haven't heard anybody so far on my show really demanding that he quit. You have to leave that to him and the people around him to make that decision. But I wouldn't run again. He shouldn't run again. I tell you that.
Reason why I'm saying that, because now you said the magic word, a man of power, and that's a strong statement, and it's a good statement. It's a good statement for you to make that. And the reason why I'm saying that is because look what the situation we are in today. And look where we done came from. And look what type of man he was. Him and my uncle used to run together. My uncle, they were very, very close. He was the bright man. He was the dark man. They were very close. They used to run together long before he got married. But anyway, the reason why I asked you that, because the situation that we're in now, and by Mr. Conyers is where he is today, and all this here little small allegations coming against him, and people want to denounce him and have him to leave or walk away from something that the strength that he has is the strength for us, millions of today, not just millions of color, but millions, period, that want to see something right. He was one of the first black men that strong, that was fighting for us and stayed in there 50-some years. And we have a lot to lose if he step away or if he walks away.
I think Bayre, I'm about to go to a break here, but I think that he should, if he wants to finish out this term.
I can't have that time that you give everybody else.
You can, if you want. I tell you what, Bayre. I tell you what, we'll come back after the break and talk to you some more, okay? All right, we're going to come back and talk with Bayre because I want all my callers to feel like we have time to talk. We always got time. And we'll be right back to the Wayne Bradley Show on 9:10 a.m., your superstation.
910 AM Superstation. We're bigger and better than ever and growing daily.
Detroit car lovers, this is Henry Payne, and you're on with Car Radio. I'm a longtime car fanatic. I got the sickness way back when I was a kid. I grew up in West Virginia, and my dad was a racer, was an autocrosser, and we go back and forth from West Virginia to Ohio, autocrossing all the time. So I've been all over the Midwest, beginning from the young age of 6, racing cars, and came up here to Detroit about 17 years ago to Detroit News. I'm also their cartoonist, so talking cars, drawing pictures. It's a great town to be a car guy in, and I think this is we're living the second golden era of cars right now. If you look out there, what's on the showroom lots, we've never seen a greater variety of cars, from entry-level cars to luxury cars. It's a wonderful, wonderful second golden era.
910 AM is the gold standard for talk radio. 910 AM Superstation is in a league of its own. We are the only talk radio station in the Metro Detroit area sensitive to the African American community.
Make sure you join us on what station?
910 AM the Superstation.
910 AM.
910 AM. On 910 AM Superstation.
910 AM Superstation, Metro Detroit's only African American based talk radio station. Every weeknight at 9 p.m. is something new and something fresh.
This is Todd Corser, and I want you to check out my show. Listen in and call every week as we explore government and hot topics. Tune in, raw and uncut.
This is attorney Michael Schwartz at 910 AM Superstation, and you can hear me every Tuesday night starting at 9 p.m.
Hello, Detroit. This is attorney Crystal Crittenden, and please tune in to my new show, The Truth Matters, on 910 AM Superstation.
Hello, everyone. I'm Charlene Mitchell, your host of Mind Your Business. Listen to my show live every Thursday from 9 to 11 p.m.
I'm Reverend Maya Lisa Reynolds, inviting you to listen to Mama Maya Speaks Friday evenings from 9 until 11 p.m., discussing education, motivation, and inspiration on Superstation 910 AM.
Different names, different voices, but the same energy. 910 AM Superstation, the voice of Detroit. Don't miss the best day party in town every Saturday at 4 p.m. on 910 AM Superstation with Chuck Bennett.
If I meet 2 people at each party, that's 10 people every week that I meet. At the end of the year, that's 520 people at parties.
Right.
That's a lot of names to remember.
That is.
But now, so then I get somebody who comes up to me and says, "Hi, Chuck, do you remember me?" All right, you do the math.
Saturdays at 4 p.m. only on 910 AM Superstation. We're the hottest station in town. Whatever you need, it's right here on 910 AM Superstation. The most powerful voices in the urban community. 910 AM Superstation gives you the flip side, the real side. This is our side.
Listen live now.
The number one station, period.
And on that note, let's get back to the program.
You're listening to 910 AM Superstation, Detroit's only urban talk radio station.
Oh, it's a different vibe here tonight. 7 to 9. The Wayne Bradley Show. Late night, prime time now, 7 to 9 p.m. every night. We're going to have a good time here. We've been having a great show. Folks calling in. Give us a call, 313-209-9000. We've been talking about these allegations, these accusations. Some people have been settling out. People have been losing their jobs, so you can't call it all allegations. But we're going to go back to Bay Ree, who's dropping some knowledge on us. Bay Ree, you back on the air.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you, Wayne, because this is a very touching subject.
Mm-hmm.
The reason why I'm saying I'm a multiracial of a young man, and the reason why I'm saying that, I got black and white, I'm an Indian in my blood, and my uncle was Governor Waller's nephew. And the reason why I'm saying these things, I make a good announcement, I make good statement. See, we are the state in life now. We're in a phase in life now where Mr. Conyers, he can make the United States a better place. Mr. Lewis can make the United States.
Well, isn't it fair to say though, Bay Ree, that he's had his shot at doing that?
Huh?
I mean, isn't it fair to say he's had his shot of making America great, or his chance?
No. This is the time. The reason why I'm saying that, the man that baked the cake in a pie that everybody want to taste. And if you take it and cut that pie now and issue it out, take it out the stove now, we don't have nothing. And I'm saying that to say, see, people don't understand the United States got to be a better place. And a better place got to be from people like him that done been somewhere, that did something, and then suffered something. Now he want to give something back, even though he tried before, but he was at a space in a place where he couldn't do it. Now it's his turn, and they know he's a power for people, not just black, not just white. Listen to those Caucasian brothers a little while back. They was speaking so highly of the man, and they were speaking from their heart. And when people speak like that from their heart, that if we take them away from that, we all will lose. You will lose. And I mean, it's evident. We got too much to lose for us to.
You don't think that anyone else could fill John Conyers' seat, Bay Ree? You don't think his nephew? You don't think anybody else could do it?
Yes, they could do it, but it'll take a long time for it to get to the point.
Well, I mean, he's been there for over 50 years, Bay Ree. He's had his shot. If he was going to do whatever he was going to do, he's had his shot to do so. I mean, listen.
Look, we been. Look where we've been. Look where we've been in 500 years. You understand? Look where we came from back in the South. Look where we done came from. Think about what you're saying now. You know, he didn't have no shot. His shot is now. And his shot is now for others to see. For the people that speaking like them other gentlemen were speaking a minute ago. They were speaking highly of that man. And if you take that man away from here, you're taking away a lot of history. You're taking away
You are taking away a lot of history, but you're not taking away a lot of active political activity right now. The man hasn't done anything legislatively in quite a long time. So, I mean, you're not really hurting anything. He's just, I mean, he's the Honorable John Conyers. He's sat in the seat for quite a while, but he hasn't done anything for quite a while. Let's just be clear about that.
You can't say that. You can't say that. You know, it takes you 4 years to change presidency, right?
Mm-hmm.
It takes you 4 years to do that. So when you nigga, it takes you 4 years to change president, you know everything else starts all over again. But it goes back another 10 years or 20 years. So you got to think about what you're saying now. He hasn't did anything, and he won't do it. But you're wrong. He got too much knowledge, too much history.
Well, he can share his knowledge. Listen, he can share the knowledge. He can pass the torch. He can pass the torch.
No, Wayne, you're wrong. How you going to share some knowledge with somebody that's been there 20 years with him, and the new man coming in there, they going to take him and wipe their foot on that.
Listen, John Conyers has served honorably, as that's what we want to call it, honorably for the last 50 years. I mean, how much time do you really want the man to serve?
Okay, let me say it this way. I'm gonna cut it short and brief.
Go ahead, Bayree.
When you do what you doing for whoever you working for, when they get tired of you, they gonna cut your cord too. And that's
how they do it. That's how they do it in everywhere, Bayree. I don't know any job that once you've done with the job, they might move in a different direction. That's what happens.
No, but I understand what you're saying. When you talk, I hear you say. But Wayne, I think it should be.
Bayree, you're making an excuse. You're saying the only reason they shouldn't get rid of John Conyers is because of his historical value. What is he doing now for the people in the 13th district? What is he doing to bring jobs back to the area? Is he voting on any? Is he getting involved with the tax bills? Of course not. He's not doing any of that. So what is he? What value is he bringing to the 13th district? He is a historical icon, but he definitely shouldn't run anymore.
When you talking, Wayne, and I'm trying to give you a point so what you really understand. When you go to a dictionary, you go to a dictionary for what? To search a word so you can use it on something or someone. So therefore, you got to leave the dictionary in there. You got to pull it out. So what you talking about, Wayne, I hear you loud and clear, but you're wrong. You got to open that book to get something out of it. So all you talking, Wayne, I know, I hear you, and I understand what you're saying. And not only that, now if you see what the man doing, look what somebody else just stepped down. I don't want to call on that, but I see the pictures loud as day. This other man just stepped down for to sit down on the side for him to put them where they want to go. If you understand me, these people know what's happening. Come on, Wayne, you know what's happening, man. If you take the book and take the pages out of it, there's nothing there for you to learn. So Wayne, come on now. You a smart man, and I love you, even though you doing what you do, and I understand you. If you Wayne, you something else, man. You a trip, man.
Hey, man, I appreciate you calling in. I do appreciate you calling in and you giving me your opinion tonight, Bayree. Thank you a lot, brother. Hey, man, we got to keep these folks. Don't hang up on them. I tell them I love them and thank them for calling in, especially on the Nightcast. I appreciate you, brother, for calling in, Bayree. All right, so we're gonna go to Abdullah. Abdullah's on the line now.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I tried to get through to you this morning, but I couldn't get through. That's what I'm going to try.
Isn't it better now in the evening? You get a little bit better in the evening. I got to wake you up at 5 in the morning. We're here. Phones are going off the hook. And, 313-209-9000. Call in. We got about an hour left. And Abdullah, we've been talking about John Conyers. We've been talking about Matt Lauer. And I got to ask you, the question has been, you've had people that obviously are here defending John Conyers. Do you think this is feminism gone wild? Is this an attack on men here? Is this what we're witnessing now? Is this coming back to bite these liberals back in the behind, that now you got guys like Matt Lauer? Oh, my goodness. There goes a guy I grew up with from high school right there. Man, you better come in here and say what's up at some point, Reverend. One of my Reverend buddies just walked by here, man. Oh, my goodness. So, anyway, what do you think? Give me your opinion, Abdullah. What's going on here?
Yeah. Let me lay it out, because John Conyers and I are the same age. Mm-hmm. And every time he runs, I always vote for him because I understand what he's doing. He's trying to help not only black people, he's trying to help all of the people. And there's been threats on his life. He put his life on the line to try to make things better for everybody. But some people don't understand that, and they don't understand him. He's a man. See, God got a way of putting people.
Abdullah, I got a question for you. We know all the great things he's done.
Ask me anything.
We know all the great things he's done. We know the history of John Conyers. If these allegations are true, if he was sexually harassing women, should he still keep his job?
He still what now?
Should he still be able to keep his job if these allegations are true? If he is settled out paying women because he was making them uncomfortable at work, doing things like that, should he be allowed to keep his job, Abdullah?
Yes, he should.
Wow. Well, there you go.
He's still doing his job.
He's doing his job. All right, go ahead. All right, Abdullah, go ahead. Break that down for me.
See, I know why they're coming against John Conyers, because one of the things, and I said that some years ago when he was out to try to help Reparation Ray and all that people against that reparations,
reparations. That was like his big dream bill. He was going to do reparations. Yeah, he still talks about it. And ain't nothing ever got done with it, but he still talks about it.
He's the only one that was trying to work with to help reparations, bring reparations to all people, And the women, I'm for women all the way. But some women are being controlled by men, especially the Caucasian woman. Mm-hmm. And some of them, they really don't mean, because I work with among Caucasian women, talk with them. I got some in my family and everything. And because some of them used to tell me, she said, Abdullah, so the things that our men is doing, that we don't like it. So they'll misuse us like they'll misuse y'all. She said, our men. So, but we just have to go along with them. Say, if you go back and think she was telling the truth. This Caucasian, this white woman, as people call them. She said it was a time we couldn't even vote. She said it was a time when we couldn't make as much money as they make on the job for our men.
Right.
And so many things happened. They did y'all worse than us. Saying if we had been in control, we wouldn't have brought y'all in.
Well, I gotta give it to the Conyers. I gotta give it to Conyers supporters. Conyers supporters are you guys are no different than Donald Trump supporters. Whatever he does, it's okay because he's doing his job, and I respect that. It's consistent. It's consistency. Yeah. You're saying that even if he is guilty of sexually harassing this woman and selling out using our tax dollars to do so, that John Conyers should be able to keep his job. Interesting.
Well, see, let me explain this to you. Mm-hmm. This is what I said. John Conyers is listening to you now, what they realize it now. Listen to the show. You listen to the show. And it's the thing of it, I asked some of them today on the talk show to bring him on and let John Conyers explain to what's happening. Don't just go by what somebody said, and give them a chance to break these things down. Because you got people who are being paid. Money is the Bible says money is the root of all evil. Mm-hmm. They're being paid or being controlled by their husband to come against somebody that they don't like. They're not the white woman, it's that man. And people all over the world know that. Because I be on shows all around the world, different talk shows. I used to live in Canada. I spent 2 years in World War II. And I got an understanding of people of all different cultures. Chinese, the Koreans, because of some of the Japanese, they used to say the reason why some of them wanted to get these nuclear bombs and stuff, this is what some of the Koreans said, and the Chinese said, it's because we don't intend for no war to come up and, so we never drop no Tommy bomb on nobody, and they drop it on Japan, that we could be ready, but that'll never happen to us, that we could be prepared. So I understand, and brother, you're a wise brother. You understand a whole lot of things. But God give me a gift, and I can see things and people that they really think you don't see. And I understand, yeah. And Donald Trump, he's doing like my Honorable Minister Lee Farrakhan said. He's a Satanist, wickedly wise, and he know how to control people who don't have an understanding. That's the greatest thing in the world. Don't care how much wisdom, knowledge you got, but if you don't have an understanding, you can be, controlled. And it's what's happening to a lot of our people today. But the Almighty God is great, what you call it gonna be all right. The running they're trying to bring down.
Well, I appreciate you calling in, Abdullah. I appreciate you calling in and giving your perspective on
that's why he lived to get 88 years old and still doing good.
All right,
God is controlling him.
Well, thank you so much, man.
Nothing's gonna happen to him.
All right. Well, I appreciate you calling in. I got to get to the next caller. Now, that I want you to hear, folks, is why I say John Conyers doesn't have anything to worry about in terms of Detroit and his voters and his supporters, because the guy just said that he could have been guilty of all that and he should keep his job. That's why I tell people there are people on both sides of the aisle that support whoever their guy is that doesn't care if he is right or wrong. They support their guy. That's where we're at now in politics. They don't care if John Conyers has done any of this stuff, and they're basically saying that, hey, he deserves to keep his job, and he's doing his job, and that's the most important thing here. So I don't know, folks. That's where we're at. I don't think he should run again. I think that he should retire gracefully. And go out, and this is the way he wants to go out. Do it that way. Don't let people take him out. So we're going to talk about it some more. Give us a call, 313-209-9000. We're going to go with Ray, who's calling all the way from the 616. Ray, thanks for calling in.
Congratulations, sir, on your time slot. That's outstanding. I could never get myself out of bed in time to listen to your morning show.
Trust me, Ray, I struggled the same way, my friend.
I'm sure you did. You had to be alert and conversation and everything. It was crazy, but now you're fully exposed during prime time. All the Detroit haters.
Oh yeah, this is good. I can be their personal piñata, their therapist, and their liberal whisperer. I can tell them it's okay. I'm here for you. I'm here for you, liberals. We're gonna talk. We're gonna get you straightened out a little bit over here on 910. I know during the day you get an overload of this stuff, but I'm here for you. So thank you for calling in, Ray. What do you think about this whole? What do you think about all of it? I mean, the irony. What do you think of the irony that they've gone after the guys like a Roy Moore or Donald Trump, and all I'm seeing now is a bunch of liberals being kicked off the air, being fired, being locked up. We can go all the way back to Anthony Weiner. I mean, this is Carlos Danger. We can go all the way back to him. There's a lot of these liberals are getting in trouble for this right now.
Well, I think one liberal who's pretty funny right now is Nancy Pelosi, making sure that everyone knows there needs to be due process when it comes to Mr. Conyers. When she has no desire for any due process for Donald Trump or Roy Moore or anyone else, for that matter, she's all about due process now, which is nice that we brought her, to reality, even if it is only for her guy. But
do you think this is feminism? The feminism is ramped up. The movement, the pink hat movement. Is this just a all out an assault on powerful men? Period. Republican, Democrat, it doesn't matter.
I think men in power have a tendency to believe they can do whatever they want.
I agree. That's what I said earlier.
I don't think that's every man in power,
right?
But I think that it's more likely to happen. When they have popularity, when they have people who will do anything for them, then guess what? They're going to do anything for them, and they're going to take advantage of that. The percentage of them are. So I'm not surprised anytime I hear one of these. I'm not surprised just because John Conyers is 88 years old and he's an icon. I'm not sure why it's a big surprise that he is just another guy in power. So, I mean, I don't know if he did these things. And I got to say something else. Mm-hmm. John Conyers, Roy Moore, these are a couple people who say this did not happen. Okay?
Right.
And if it didn't happen, they should not back down. I'm fully in favor of anyone who is wrongly accused continuing to stand up, because we cannot get to the point where you quit when you're accused, because then everybody's accused.
Yeah, everyone believes it, and that's. I think that is the timing of the Roy Moore allegations. It being 3 weeks before the general election, it didn't come out in the primary, didn't come out when he was a Supreme Court judge. These allegations are enough to get people to try to force people to retire, drop out, quit. And I think that, like I said, the same due process that they should have, kind of given Roy Moore in this scenario, it's the same due process that Conyers. The difference is Conyers settled out. I think that's the bigger issue here, is that he settled out using taxpayer money to do so. And from that perspective, it's a different scenario. So
I think that by itself is something that none of them should be allowed to do.
None of them, Republican or Democrat.
I do believe. But I am not, and by no means am I a fan of John Conyers, but I tell you something, just because you settle out also doesn't mean you did it. There's a lot of people who settle out just to make it go away. And so I'm not defending John Conyers in general. I'm just overall, I'm just saying in general, that doesn't mean he's guilty, but he never should have used taxpayer dollars to do it. That isn't and he basically lied on the paperwork.
Sounds like a lot of these guys were doing that, and I think that's something that needs to change ASAP. No congressman
should. One of them.
Yep. No congressman should be able to do that.
Every one of them that's done it should be gone right now.
And that's why I don't. That's why I don't think that's why I don't think that's going to happen, because Conyers almost sounded like he was ready to go out like Nino Brown in New Jack City and take everybody down with him. He was about to say it's bigger than John Conyers. And if you think I'm the only one that's done this, I know this guy, this guy, this guy. He sounded like he was ready to go out just like that. So I don't know how badly they're going to want to push John Conyers at 88, 89 years old to just push him out of office.
On top of that, I'll tell you something, people that are all afraid that somehow they're losing something if John Conyers isn't there. John Conyers is a Democrat rubber stamp, okay? He's an automatic vote for anything the Democrats want to do. And there's if he's there. If he's there. The district, right, true. The district that he's in, he's going to be replaced by another Democrat rubber stamp. There's no chance a Republican's going to win in his district.
Right. Well, that's what I was asking the other guests. Like, it's not like he can't. I mean, his own nephew would probably run. So, I mean, Ian Conyers would definitely be one of the guys that would be expected to run for that seat. So, I don't see it would be too much. And actually, you might actually get a representative that might work harder that can actually get something done, whether it's liberal or not. Someone that's actually working. That's all. I'll leave it at that on that, Ray.
Yeah, and so he's going to be replaced by another Democrat. No big deal. Just like when Vern Andler's over here retired, it wasn't like a Democrat was going to take his place. It's a Republican seat, and it's going to be that way for the foreseeable future. So there's not going to be any loss. And I got to understand too that it's pretty funny. You know, we not that long ago had a president of the United States who, by many people's standards, was a sexual predator, and now that they have no more power, and of course I'm talking about Bill Clinton. Now that the Clintons don't have any more power, people are starting to say, well, maybe we should have looked at that differently. Maybe we overlooked some things we shouldn't have overlooked, and that's pathetic. And if Hillary Clinton was president right now, none of that would be happening. They'd still be embracing him, still be apologizing, and not apologizing for him and defending him, and it's truly pathetic. But it's politics at its worst.
I appreciate it, Ray. Well, thank you for calling in all the way from G-Rap. Thanks for calling in today's show. All right, we're going to go to Bob. Bob is in the 231. Where you at, Bob? Checking in, Bob Carr.
Yeah, Bob Carr is in Traverse City. I was in.
We got calls from all over the state tonight. We got them from Grand Rapids, Traverse City. Thank you for calling in tonight. I appreciate it.
Well, what happened was that I had supper with my wife, and I was holding my phone, and on Facebook, I noticed that you had gone live. So when I went and pushed the button, there were you in all living color, and my wife had not seen that before.
Awesome.
And you said, all conservatives, call in. So
there we go. I appreciate that. I appreciate that, Bob.
That expands your listenership. Listen, I just want to say, that subject, urban radio, I've been listening, and it's moved me. It's moved me, especially with the welfare reform that's coming up. So because it's a station where we can really have dialogue and try to solve some problems on the air. I'm pretty amazed at how this particular station takes their talk shows.
Well,
so I really
good.
appreciate it. I wrote a post on Facebook under Bob Carr on the 27th about welfare reform,
Okay.
my experience in Benton Harbor and so on. And it took me a long time because your radio gave me a lot to think about.
Mm-hmm.
If anybody wants to look at it, if you look at it, if there's changes I need to my philosophy, I'm all for it. As you know, I'm running for the Michigan United States Senate.
Okay.
And
Yep.
I see it as a teaching platform. It's not just about going back to Washington and laying down the law. It's all about Michigan.
Right.
So
No.
I see that position as a teaching platform, going to town halls, talking on the radio, and advising as I go. So take a look at it and give me advice. I'd really appreciate it.
All right.
electbobcarr.com. I think it's there too, sir.
Thank you so much,
Go
Bob.
to Urban Radio. It's been a great find for me. Thank you very much.
I'm glad you listened in. Thank you so much for calling in. You see that? I hope that we pass that along to all the folks here at the station. We got folks calling in tonight from Grand Rapids, G-Rap, Traverse City. Appreciate all my folks, all my patriots calling in from across the state tonight. All right, so we got what, 5 minutes to the break here. I'm gonna take this call off with LaShonda. We got LaShonda on the line. LaShonda, thank you for calling in.
Hey, it's definitely worth calling back.
All right.
I Facebooked you yesterday, and I know you probably have a busy schedule, but I downloaded Johnny Carson. He does a stint about lying politicians.
Mm-hmm. No, I didn't get the track.
I didn't get that.
No, I probably. What's it about? What are we talking about here with the lying politician?
Oh, it's just he and George Carlin.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you ever get a chance, you want to just kind of like, exhale on the subject of, politicians and whatnot. I just took the time out to download that to you. But here, my question to you that I wanted to address your last caller when he mentioned Bill Clinton, I thought about Ken Starr. And as we talk about the tax dollars that we had to spend back then, I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, that it was close to or over $5 million.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know that to be true or not?
Now, I had to do some more research on that myself.
Okay. And, I did enjoy speaking with you, at the 5 o'clock hour.
Well,
and glad to see that you're on at this time.
Yeah, this is a little better for me, and I do appreciate people that actually were getting up in the morning with me. But this is going to be a lot better, and I feel a lot more wide awake. I tell you that. I feel my voice feels better. I feel a lot better at 7 o'clock in the evening than I do at 5 in the morning. So I appreciate folks that are listening in today.
One last thing. As far as John Conyers,
Mm-hmm.
This has definitely, people have to understand that this is viral. This Conyers, as well as, I forget the comedian's name, just kind of getting a little tired of hearing the different stories. But this, when I say viral, I'm saying CNN, MSNBC. I mean, you just go down the litmus list of the radio stations, and how do you try to correct something like this issue?
Mm-hmm.
Now we can mix it up. You can mix it up with what I have a problem with is that we're mixing the politicians with the movie stars, and probably maybe it'll be another type of group that's going to come out next. But I think, for those that are interested, and I'm solely interested in my tax dollars being wasted, the other folks, the Hollywood people, I mean, they deal with that on their own. However they spend their money and all that's a different story. But when it comes down to me having to foot your bill, I have a problem with that, and I don't care.
Well, I think that's the thing that we really need to pay more attention to. Like,
I agree.
I wouldn't care as much if that's what you're doing on your own time, and somehow maybe if you've raised your own money through your PACs or whatever. If that's how you want to spend your money, go right on ahead. I still think it's despicable, probably don't need to be in office, but taking my tax dollars.
I don't think in these conversations that if we continue to allude away from Clinton, who was the only, to my knowledge, the only one who was alleged to have raped a woman. I haven't heard anything other than to the extreme of all of these sexual allegations touching and looking this way and all of that. No one will ever come close than Bill Clinton. And I just hope that, in this conversation is not going away. They've predicted that it's going on until 2020. So, I kind of foresee it and have to agree that it's not going anywhere.
Well, we're going to have to keep our eyes on them. We're going to keep our eyes on them all, LaShonda, in terms of keeping them credible and keeping them to us, accountable to the people that vote them in. And in turn are paying these ridiculous settlements for them. So, LaShonda, I appreciate you for calling in.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
I appreciate you. We're going to go to a break here on the Wayne Bradley Show here on 910 a.m., your superstation. We'll be back, and we're going to talk a little bit more. We got about another half hour here, but I appreciate you listening in on the Wayne Bradley Show on 910 a.m., your superstation.
Looking to hear the truth, we talk about it.
Why is it difficult to understand the rage of young black men who have been completely disenfranchised and then profiled? You don't assume that they're amazing and beautiful and smart and genius and gifted, and you should. But psychologically, you have been trained to think otherwise. And you've been doing it from pre-K. You've been suspending kindergartners for not being able to sit still. Then when they act out, when they wild out because of the way you're treating them, you got them on TV with police holding them to the ground and arresting them. What kind of insanity is this that the children are crying out and saying, something ain't right here? And I'm just here to make an announcement, public service announcement. It's not going to come out the sky. You're going to have to decide to make a change. And you, everybody in this listening audience, is going to have to decide to cultivate some beauty.
910 AM Superstation, the only urban talk radio station in town.
Hello, I'm Ed Foxworth.
And I'm Alexander Zonchik.
Homebound seniors and disabled adults are often not consuming a nutritious meal.
This ongoing problem is being addressed through the Detroit Area Agency on Aging. Their Meals on Wheels program, but they do need your help.
Join us for the DAAA Meals on Wheels Telethon as we raise awareness and much-needed financial support.
Mark your calendar, Sunday, December the 3rd, beginning at 7 p.m. It's right here on WADL TV 30.
910 AM Superstation, the leader in facts.
People are not going to do things to your community if they know you care. If you care about your community, that decreases people from actually wanting to do things on your community.
Opinions.
Now we see Wayne State catching all kinds of flack for not graduating enough African-American students. And guess what? Could they when there was 9 years of school takeover? Nobody's talking about that.
Voices.
The UAW, AFSCME, AFL, they have a process. That process, by the way, is often dictated by who they see of their friends or pro-labor or whatever. We understand that. That's reasonable because you guys have a PAC, you have a political activity that has to buttress the bottom line of your work. But the rest of these PACs and anyone who would suggest otherwise is just lying through their yellow teeth that you don't have to pay for that stuff is disingenuous.
And everything in between. 910 AM Superstation. We are the future of radio. 910 AM Superstation, the leader in facts.
There are a lot of folks who are interested in investing in Detroit, and that's not a bad thing. That's a good thing.
Well, it's important that Detroit have investment because in order to have the kind of infrastructure that we need, there has to be investment.
Opinions.
The law was amended where marijuana shops can be opened up next to churches, schools, bars, liquor stores. What ramifications do he think that will have in the city of Detroit?
That's an excellent question. I think it remains to be seen, but I personally think that nothing good is going to come out of it, Larry.
Voices.
Rick has been holding on for a long time. Hi, Rick.
I'm not for the marijuana law being legalized until every person who's in a Michigan jail who's been in there for having marijuana is released. Then you can legalize it.
News.
Alex is a videographer who often uses Periscope and YouTube to provide live video feeds of fires, and often will take a drone and will fly it above the fire scene so you can really see the fire from a vantage point that we never get to see.
910 AM Superstation. We are the future of radio. Don't miss the best day party in town every Saturday at 4 p.m. on 910 AM Superstation with Chuck Bennett.
If I meet 2 people at each party, that's 10 people every week that I meet. At the end of the year, that's 520 people at parties.
Right.
That's a lot of names to remember.
That is.
But now, so then I get somebody who comes up to me and says, "Hi, Chuck, do you remember me?" All right, you do the math.
Saturdays at 4 p.m. only on 910 AM Superstation.
It's the Wayne Bradley Show, conservative political radio, giving you what you need to know. Listen up, it's the Wayne Bradley Show. It's the Wayne Bradley Show.
Welcome back to the Wayne Bradley Show here live on 910 AM, your Superstation, here on my new time, 7 to 9 p.m., Monday through Friday. Feels good. Feels good to have this opportunity. We've had a lot of calls this evening. 313-209-9000 is the call in. If that number's busy, give us a call at 313-778-7600. It's been a great night, great conversation. I am still shocked, though, that I've heard people that have called in. You've had women that have called in and questioned, were these other women lying? See, I couldn't do that. I could not openly say, oh, they're just lying. But you had the women do it, so they kind of handled that dirty work. Then you had some guys, you had some gentlemen say, hey, I don't care if he did do that stuff. He should keep his job. And so this is why I say that while people are frustrated with how, I hear people always complain about Donald Trump supporters. Donald Trump supporters will support Donald Trump through anything. It's not exclusive to Donald Trump, and this proves it. This proves it. Donald Trump has not settled out. He has not admitted to anything. John Conyers' team, they settled. And in my world, you don't settle when you've done nothing wrong. Now, I get it that it might have been worth it to quickly handle it. And if you know it's going to be anonymous, why wouldn't you? If you didn't think you were ever going to get caught, why wouldn't? What would stop you from settling? If you're a congressman and you have a fund that will pay out people anonymously and they will never, names will never be public, why would you ever go to court and fight that? That makes total sense to do so, but I don't think that they should have that option. I don't think any politician should have the option to use public funds. Now, if they have the money to do this privately, doesn't make them any better of a person, but at least it doesn't cost me any money out of my tax dollars to pay some hush money to a woman because they don't know how to behave in the workplace. In the real world, you get fired. In the private sector, if you don't know how to behave yourself, if you become someone that is menacing or makes women feel uncomfortable at work, you probably won't be able to keep your job there. They'll move you. They'll do whatever they have to do. Then no one's willing to take that liability. So I think it's interesting. We're going to bring JR on the line who's been waiting. JR, thank you for calling in.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm all right. How you doing?
I'm doing fine. I've been hearing this name, which is, you're Bradley, right?
Wayne Bradley.
I've been hearing that Wayne Bradley floating around for the last couple of weeks. I've been saying to myself, who is Wayne Bradley? Because I've never heard you before, so now I hear you.
Mm-hmm.
Let me ask you a question.
Yes, sir.
When you say that, first of all, let me say this before we get down there.
All right, let's do it.
There's no way in my mind that John Conyers molested anybody. Now, let me say this to you.
Well, they didn't say molested.
You seen the lady that claims that he molested her?
He didn't say, sexually harassed and molesting is two different things.
Have you seen her?
No. So what are you, now,
okay,
why are you saying that?
Let me say, the woman, I've seen, they had on TV once.
Mm-hmm.
She started to work for John Conyers in 97, and she left John Conyers in 2005.
Okay.
Okay? Normally, when you have a complaint against your employer, whether it's true or not, they decide to give you a settlement, which is called it's the
a severance
payment
package.
that you get. Severance pay. That's what that woman got. Severance pay. The woman was a mole at John Conyers' office. Now let me say this to you. You may not believe that, but ask yourself this question: Did Trump lie? Did Trump lie?
Did Trump lie?
Do he lie?
I'm not aware that he lies. What are you talking about?
Oh, my God. Did he lie when he said that our president, Barack Obama, clapped his telephone line? Was he lying then?
No. Actually, those allegations were proven to be true. He was wiretapping Trump Tower, but it was to get to Paul Manafort.
Where are you from, Bradley?
I'm from Detroit. From 7 Mile. Went to Mumford.
What school did you go to?
Mumford.
What school did you go to?
Mumford and Michigan State.
Mumford, what years was those?
I graduated from Mumford in 94, yep.
And what area of the city did you live in?
7 Mile, Illinois, right there in the neighborhood.
Did you live east of Illinois or west of Illinois?
I lived east of Illinois. Yep.
I think over there by U&D.
Yep. Went to J-Zoo.
You have to understand one thing. Now, these other three women that came up, the other two, as they say, what they should do in order to solve this problem, give them a lie detector test. I bet you they won't do that.
This is why, see, you guys, this is what's so hard for these. This, JR, this is why it's so hard for the women to speak up, JR. Do you hear what you're saying?
They already spoke up.
Oh, my God. It's got to be hard. It's heartbreaking. It is heart-wrenching. She was distraught.
What's wrong with that?
You sound a lie detector test? You don't sound like you trust these women at all, JR. I am shocked.
Donald Trump was the guy that invited, after he became president, the Russian ambassador and one of the Russian leaders into his office. Didn't let no Americans in there. That's when he said that what's the name was a fool or whatever he called it.
So you took care of that idiot. You took care of that problem.
Realize that Donald Trump has been bought and paid for. Donald Trump, right now, the most dangerous man to America's future, is going to. All I can say.
JR, you are making a lot of allegations against our president, and I need you to show a little more respect for our president here, JR. He's not the one. He's not the one that's having these problems with settlements. Come on.
How much respect do they show for Obama?
Huh?
How much respect do they show for Michelle Obama calling her monkey?
Listen, Donald Trump didn't do that. I don't know what you're talking about. Listen, if we're going to compare the level of respect here, wait a minute. Let's be clear here, JR. If we're going to clear the level of respect for Donald Trump is at an all-time low from the American people. Huh?
And wouldn't even apologize. Hey, Bradley?
Yes, sir. I'm listening to you, JR. What I'm trying to say is that they disrespect our president a lot here.
Some research on you. I'm going to find out who you really are. But then, of course, I realize you got to get ratings, brother. But now I know who Bradley is. You're going to be here. What time do you come on every night?
I'll be on from 7 to 9 p.m., sir. 7 to 9, JR. Anytime. And, I was doing 5 to 7.
I'll tell you what.
I was doing 5 to 7 in the mornings.
How old are you? What grade? I'm going to ask you age, but what age range are you?
I graduated in 94. I'm 41. I'm an old man now. I'm getting to be an old man now. 41.
Okay, well, I understand that. How do I see you on Facebook? Because I might want to respond to you on Facebook.
Oh, that's the easiest thing ever right there. You can go on Facebook. You can do the Wayne Bradley Show, or you can just look up Wayne Bradley, and you'll see at least two different. I'm easy to find on social media, so that's.
So it would be
or Wayne WB Bradley.
Wayne Bradley Show / Facebook.
Yep. You will find me. I'm easy.
Well, now listen, Ray. Let's not get into no argument about that. I got to do my research on you because, like I said, when I was a young man coming along years and years ago, I came up in the military, and I was an intelligence officer.
All right.
And we know how intelligence works. So I'm going to find out, but I'm not going to embarrass you, brother, because we need people like you to get everybody fired up, because we know that they got to do what they got to do.
Right. This is nothing personal here.
He's got to do what he's got to do, and he's going to do what he got to do. You ready to pass a tax bill that most Americans in this country The poor ones will have to pay.
Well, you know, JR, we could have more discussion on that if all these liberals would stop getting all this trouble.
Liberals? What's a liberal?
The guys like John Conyers is definitely what I would consider a liberal.
Anybody that wants to protect justice for black people is a liberal?
No, that's not true. I want to protect. I want to help black people in their civil rights, and I'm not a liberal.
You shouldn't want to help black people talk like you talk.
Oh, that's not true. That's not true at all. Why is it that a way I talk dictates how I want to help black people?
It's what you say, your theory behind what you say. But anyway, Mr. Bradley, I think I've had enough talking to you. I will listen to you, and when I get through, I'll come back with a summation in about a month and let you know where you come from, including who's paying you.
Oh, well, I can tell you, that's not going to be hard at all to find that. All right. Well, I appreciate that, JR. You don't have to. You want to look too hard for me. I'm all over the web. Who I work for and who deals with me is.
I agree with you.
I'm well documented.
But I'll tell you what. If you think Donald Trump gonna make you rich, you better look at something.
I don't look for any other man to make me rich. I don't look for any government to do that. That's my responsibility.
What other jobs have you ever had?
I've worked in real estate. I've worked a lot in real estate. That was my other passion. Real estate broker.
What are you doing now, other than a talk show host?
Hey man, listen. I want you to Google it. Check out what I'm doing. It's not that hard. I'm telling you.
To do that, but let me say this to you. All you got to do to find out if this is not intimidation of the broadcast commentators, Google what the last interview that was a Breitbart guy had with the guy that they just fired, the one they fired before Donald Trump.
Mm-hmm.
Just Google it and listen to it. And then Google what Matt Lauer said and the last comments he made about Donald Trump. Donald Trump is trying to intimidate the news media because he calls it all fake news, but the biggest fake news I've ever seen came out of his organization. And that General Kelly, I was military. He was an embarrassment to the United States of America. A Marine that would lie and did not admit he told a lie. Give me a break. I would follow him to the corner store. But anyway, nice talking to you, brother.
Thank you, my friend. Thank you for calling in. I appreciate it. Oh, man, look at this, Ari. I'm watching it on CNN right now. The Dems are just self-imploding. Representative Rice outraged over Dems' response to sexual harassment claims. I don't have time for meetings that aren't real. Oh, these guys are going to get crushed out here. They're going to start turning on each other. Now you have I don't have time for meetings that aren't real. Ooh, Dem on Dem violence. Love it. Enjoy it. These guys are going to tear each other to parts. You know, they've been, because this is the whole thing. This is my point. Dems act like they care about women. Then they act like they care about black folks. But you see, in this one scenario, you have Dems that question if the women are telling the truth. And then you have other people that say they don't care if John Conyers did exactly what he's being accused of. He should keep his job. The charade is over. The mask is being lifted. Dems are being exposed for their hypocrisy. The same people that will say they're against gun laws but will have guns in their home because they don't want those laws. They don't want the normal person to have access to guns. But them, oh, no, that's okay. You know, armed security, armed guards everywhere. But they don't want you to have guns. These libs, they're unbelievable. Unbelievable. We're going to go to JJ. JJ, welcome to the Wayne Bradley Show.
Hey, Wayne, man, you up late at night now, huh?
I'm so happy to be. I'm a late night person, and this is way better for me than being up from 5 to 7 in the morning. Not even being up at 4 in the morning and being on the radio. This is so much better. I feel alive. I still feel wide awake here. It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah. Hey, no, check this out, man. This is the next bomb to drop.
Mm-hmm.
The guys will start accusing the girls.
Oh, it's got to happen. It's got to happen, JJ. All in the name of equality.
I was a general sales manager in charge of 25 people. 10 were girls, 15 were guys. And trust me, the girls were more promiscuous than the freaking guys. So these office parties coming up,
the
girls, they better be on their best behavior because the guys are going to start
A Me Too campaign, too. Yep, they're going to start their own Me Too campaign.
Exactly. You know what? Where's Walter at, man?
You know what? I just knew Walter was going to call in tonight. I'm a little disappointed that Walter didn't call in tonight either, man. And, you know, this is I didn't, you know, no one knew that I was coming on tonight. This is a surprise, but I just knew my guy Walter was going to call in tonight. We live on prime time, and I haven't even heard from Walter tonight. I'm a little disappointed.
Ain't that something? You know what? I'm going to be one of those Bernie supporters. Tell Walter, I just want to get free house, give me a free school, give me some free weed so I can get high and stay low.
Well, JJ, that is the Bernie Sanders Feel the Burn agenda.
Amen, man. There we go.
All right. Well, JJ, I appreciate you calling in, my friend. All right.
Okay.
So JJ brought up something else that I've said is going to start happening because, you know, because of equality, because of the feminist movement, women are in power now. Can't women be accused of sexually harassing guys now? Wouldn't that be appropriate at this point? I mean, all in the name of equality. That's going to happen. It's going to happen. And where does it end? Who's next? Every day I take a day off, I come back, there's some new allegations. Somebody new and famous has lost their job. I mean, you know, Pete, the guy, Chris Rose or whatever, Rose, he quit last week. This week is Lauer. Who's it going to be next week? This is the feminist movement, and they are gaining ground. They're gaining ground fast. And you know what? The Mike Pence rule is what's going to keep you alive out here, men. Whether it's in the corporate world or politics, it might be the only thing that can save you is the Mike Pence rule. Don't go out and don't put yourself in these situations. The Christmas parties are coming up, like JJ said. Christmas parties are coming up. Fellas, behave yourselves. Don't tell the ladies they look nice anymore at work. Now, you know, there's a lot of women that spend maybe an hour to 2 hours before work getting themselves together to come to work to look nice. They take pride in their appearance. And they probably don't mind a guy saying, hey, you look nice today. I like what you're, you know, whatever. Don't do it, fellas. You're asking for trouble now. You're asking to be saying that you were sexually harassing. You made someone feel uncomfortable. Can't say I like that color, like that skirt, nice shoes. You might be able to get away with nice shoes. That's about the only thing as a guy now that you can maybe compliment a woman on at work. You might be able to say they have nice shoes. But other than that, I don't think you want to go any further than that because the attack on men, attack on regular men, the alpha male, you're done. They're going after you. They won't be happy until you're all done. The alpha male is being hunted right now. It's all started with Donald Trump. They got the taste of blood in the water like sharks when they were going after Donald Trump. And there was nothing there. Nothing but a nothing burger. That's what I call it. Big fat nothing burger with cheese. A double nothing burger. That's what it was when they were going after Donald Trump. But the taste of blood was left in the water for these sharks. The feminist movement. And so they've just gone after any guy that's in their way now. And guys like Matt Lauer, I don't see how he was ever coming after Donald Trump on the TV, knowing the kind of behavior. This guy he had a sex dungeon at work. This guy was off the chain. He was getting his freak on. That's what he was doing. I mean, he was doing some 1970s, 1980s type of sexual harassment up in there. I mean, you know, a teenager would know better than to behave the way he was doing up there in NBC. You know, I don't understand it. A teenager, I assume that if you have a son that's 15 to 16, he would know better to behave himself like that at work. Matt Lauer thought he was above the rules. And he paid a price. Who's next? I mean, this year alone, some of the most powerful men in media, Bill O'Reilly, Charlie Rose, Matt Lauer. You know, I know guys like Dan Rather, and those guys are glad they retired. Like, I did not want to have to deal with any of this foolishness. My goodness. The attack on men goes on. The pink hats. I knew when I was at the inauguration. I knew then that this was going to be a problem. When I was at the inauguration and the next morning I wake up and we see all those pink hats in the hotel lobby, I said, what is going on, America? You know, I'm all for equality. I'm for equality for everybody. You know, I want to say that. I don't want anybody to misconstrue anything I say, you know, but too much of anything can be bad. And when you have the feminist movement, when they're out here going after guys like this, you know, Roy Moore made some accusations about him 40 years ago. I tell you, I hope, you know, that no one makes allegations against me that happened 30 years ago when I was at Jesu as a young lad. It worries me. I mean, because this is the kind of stuff now that anybody can just say whatever they want to say, you know. I just don't. Where do we go from here? Who's next? You know, I don't understand. We got 5 minutes left here. We're going to ride out soon, but I just don't understand. You know, it shows the complexity of these issues. When you talk about Roy Moore, John Conyers, same kind of thing, and people are defending John Conyers here in Detroit. This is why it might look crazy to some folks that the way people in Alabama are going to support Roy Moore, and I predict this is going to be a very close race. But people stick up for the person they believe in. And that doesn't matter if it's Roy Moore, doesn't matter if it's John Conyers. In politics, people believe in their guy. And unless you have some concrete proof, they're going to still stand. One guy said he doesn't care. Even if John Conyers is guilty of what he said John Conyers should keep his job. So when you hear that, you know that there's a problem here. We rolling on here. So I'm going to let y'all know I'm here every night, 7 to 9. Wayne Bradley is live from 7 to 9 p.m. So you know it's about to get real wild in here. I want to appreciate everybody that's listening tonight, and we will be back tomorrow. You'll be able to hear my show. You can download my show on my podcast. Anyway, you go to SoundCloud. It's all there for you. I'm all there for you every day. You've been listening to the Wayne Bradley Show. Make sure you follow me on Twitter at Conservative Bro. Go to conservativebro.com for all of it. And thank you for listening this evening, because you could have been anywhere in the world, and you're here with me. And I appreciate it. Y'all have a good night. This is the Wayne Bradley Show. Peace out.
Don't miss the best day party in town every Saturday at 4 p.m. on 910 AM Superstation with Chuck Bennett.
If I meet 2 people at each party, that's 10 people every week that I meet. At the end of the year, that's 520 people at parties.
Right.
That's a lot of names to remember.
That is.
But now, so then I get somebody who comes up to me and says, "Hi, Chuck, do you remember me?" All right, you do the math.
Saturdays at 4 p.m. only on 910 AM Superstation. There's always something new to talk about, and 910 AM Superstation wants to have you covered from every angle. So we're adding some familiar voices and strong opinions to the best talk radio station in town.
Hi, I'm Rochelle Riley, and I'm so glad to be joining the family at 910 AM Superstation. We're going to be talking about it all Monday through Friday, 6 to 7 p.m. Don't miss it.
910 AM Superstation, the voice of Detroit. 910 AM Superstation is the voice of Detroit. We've got it all. The news.
Mike Epps is finally finalizing their divorce.
According to TMZ, the comedian finalized his divorce with Michelle McCain Epps. And let's just say she's about to get paid.
Politics.
I don't believe the Constitution makes allowances for frustration with Congress.
Yeah.
You have separation of powers. You have the branches have to work together. You have to work through the process. You can't just say, well, we tried with Congress, but...
Relationships.
You want to have someone that you have some similar interests, or like one of the things that I always tell couples, find something that neither one of you have ever done, and you all make that the thing that you are going to try and do together.
Activist.
The politicians come after the fact. First, you got to get together with your neighbors, your brothers, your sisters, your relatives, and decide what we want and what we need.
the only urban talk radio station in town. 910 AM Superstation, the only urban talk radio station in town.
The most disrespected person in America is the black woman. The most unprotected person in America is the black woman. The most neglected person in America is the black woman. And as Muslims, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches us to respect our women and to protect our women. And the only time a Muslim really gets real violent when someone goes to molest his woman. He will kill you for our woman. I'm making it plain. Yes, we will kill you for our woman. We believe that if the white man will do whatever is necessary to see that his woman gets respect and protection, then you and I will never be recognized as men until we stand up like men and place the same penalty over the head of anyone who puts his filthy hands out to put in the direction of our women.
910 AM Superstation, the voice of Detroit. 910 AM Superstation is the voice of the people. Don't believe me? Just listen.
I love 910 AM. I listen all day long. So many articulate and thoughtful, diverse voices and wonderful stories.
I always head to the 910 AM website for the latest in entertainment news, community events, and more.
So when you think of 910 AM Superstation, we want you to tune in